So here's a quick video just to tell my story of how I started and sold a successful clothing brand. And at the end, there'll be a little do's or don't bit of what to do and not to do if you want to start your own brand. And if that's in the back of your mind, if that's in the back of your cheek, and you want to start your own brand, but you're a little bit scared, or you don't know about this, you don't know about this, then just listen to the video. Thanks. So growing up, it was always in the back of my mind, not the cheek. You know, one of those things that, I'd love to do this one day, I'd love to do this. I always wanted to start a clothing brand. I had no fashion sense at all, whatever. But me and my mate, we always thought about starting a clothing brand together. Don't know why, we just did. One day, it was 2 years ago, I think. A year and a half ago, maybe a year ago. Good start. I messaged my friend on Facebook and I said, look, how serious are you about starting the brand up? And he was like, yeah, so we just went for it. And and that's how it started. So we brainstormed ideas, loads of different things just on Facebook. And for me, it wasn't about the name. It was about the quality of the clothing and how it looked. Because at the time when we did start, a lot of brands were about. And it was cheap material on muscly models wearing extra smalls. So it looks like good fits just to make money. It wasn't like that for us, which is quite rare, but it wasn't like that for us. So he came up with the name Capone, as in Al Capone, gangster. And to quote, he said, Capone, G as fuck. So naturally, me being the gangster that I am, went with it. And we got cracking. So we found a wholesale website called Fire Label, quite expensive. So you buy clothes on there with nothing on it apart from the size. So in our local town, there's a printing shop. We went in there, approached the guy, and it went from there. So at the beginning, I bought the first order. We bought hoodies, t-shirts, joggers, vests, hats, sleeveless hoodies. We just bought a couple of everything, which was stupid. Explain why later. I created an Instagram for us to build up a follower. Got ambassadors, another bad thing. I found a website guy. Sounds like a really bad superhero. Found a website guy. And I also found a shop to sell the clothes in. So we had a good start there. But then I thought to myself, so I've done this. But my business partner there didn't do anything. Now, I'm not slagging him off at all. I had a word with him. I said, look, I'd rather just keep it as it is, look. I'll do all the fucking work. You still put the same amount of money as I do. You still make a profit. Still making money. It's just passive income then. Wasn't having any of it. We argued, didn't speak to each other for months. So, phase 2. Just me. Han fucking Solo. I realised as I placed the second order that this is going to be fucking hard with no money. And the way I was going about it, I was barely making money because by the time I bought stuff online, because I didn't have no money, the first order was like £140. I had £170 in the bank. So I went all out. And by the time I bought the clothes, then got them printed, shipping for the clothes to get to me, and then sold them because I wasn't charging much. It was like, the hoodies were like £9.44. Printing was £2 something per item. And I sold them for £20. So with shipping as well for the clothes to get to me, I was barely making a £5 per item. Now what I did that was wrong at the beginning was just getting loads of clothes and just getting all my ideas out there and buying it rather than focusing on one. So if I was to start again, what I would have done is buy one item in 3 different colours, that sort of thing, or buy a t-shirt and a hoodie rather than buying a catwalk wardrobe and not making much profit from it. So I had a little break from it all, only a week or 2 I think it was, and then I found a manufacturer. So I dealt with a middleman in Birmingham, and he dealt with manufacturers in Pakistan and China. And if you are looking to start a brand, when I messaged other brands asking for manufacturer information and things like that, I either get ignored or they tell me where to go. But if you're looking to start a brand and need a manufacturer, message me, Instagram, Facebook, I will tell you. We're all going to fucking make it. And I was in between jobs at the time. But every penny I was getting, it was either going into the clothing brand or Subway. I found a manufacturer, decided on 2 t-shirts. It was a khaki t-shirt and a tan t-shirt. And yeah, I went with it. It was like £240 for 20 t-shirts. Obviously, the more you buy, the cheaper it is. I didn't buy much, didn't have much money. And then eventually, when I got into it, and I started buying joggers and hoodies and things, when I placed the order, I'd start taking pre-orders with my colleagues in work. But I found then that I'd buy the clothes, I spent like £400 or £500 on an order. The clothes would come in. I'd sell the clothes to people in work. So I'd have very low stock after that. I'd pay loads of models, give them clothes. I was stuck because all my money went on the order. I made money back by selling clothes, give that money to models. So I had no stock, but I had photos with models. So if someone ordered something, I had no stock. Or I could have just kept the stock, but I had nowhere to advertise it. And I felt that I needed to post constantly, which I think is right. And I wanted to post every day or every other day a different photo. And when you're not doing models, you can't. So what I ended up doing was dropping it all. Main reason was financially, but also because my friend at the beginning came up with the name Capone, I felt like it wasn't mine. I didn't want to use that name. I didn't want to get it out there. I'll be starting another brand next year. I'm not going to give too much away, but it's going to be fucking sick. So I dropped it all. Couldn't keep it fresh in everyone's mind. Didn't have the funds as well. So then a week or two later, I had a message off some boy who wanted to either A, buy it off me, or B, partner up with me. And because I'm starting another brand, I didn't think, because I only had a couple of items of stock there, because I was in sale then. And because I'm starting another brand, I wanted to keep the website. And if I sold it to him, it wouldn't work out beneficial for me, because I'd have to pay the same sort of money to get a website back up and running for another brand. Whereas if I kept the website, we can just chop and change it, if that's the saying. So we had a long chat. I ended up saying no, I don't want to sell the brand. And then a few months down the line, I had another message, same boy, offer still on the table. Now, I was speaking to him through Facebook, we exchanged numbers, but we didn't text each other. So I get a random text one day, offer still on the table if you want to sell or partner up. And I was like, I didn't have a clue what I'd done. So I texted him, I said, I haven't saved your number, blah, blah, blah. Ended up meeting up with him and sold the brand. Now, the new owner is really switched on. I told him everything I would do, everything I wouldn't do. He's got the plans behind him, he's got all the right contacts, and I really think he's going to do really well. So, here's my do's and don'ts. If you want to start a clothing brand, listen up. And these are all from personal experience, so if you got your own brand and you don't agree with it, that's fine. Money. I started with nothing, like literally nothing. I'd wait for someone to order, then I'd buy that item and then sell it, and I'd be losing money in the end. Barely broke even. So, if you're going to start, have the money behind you. When I start my next brand, I'm not going to have much behind me, maybe 2 or 3 grand. A lot of brands go 10, 15. I don't think that's necessary personally. All depends what models you use, how expensive they are, and how you get the brand out there, how you market it. And if you market it right, I don't think you need all that money there. Going solo. I'd recommend going solo because when I kicked my business partner out, I met someone who had exact same ideas as me, like exact same website, the same item of clothing, but I still said no. Even though it'd be better off financially, there'd come a point in time where we would disagree, and I don't like disagreeing. So personally, I'd rather the brand just be mine. Ambassadors. Now from experience, I wouldn't do ambassadors, but it could work. A lot of brands do it, and they really big people up. They're like, oh yeah, you can be an ambassador for us. We'll give you 20% off. All you gotta do is buy one item and then post about it. You get discount codes, all this. But that's a win-win for the company because it makes the person feel good. They'll post about their products. But even if no one else buys anything, they still made money. Unagi. Go straight to a manufacturer. Obviously, I didn't have money to begin with, so I started wholesale. It wasn't professional at all. When I went to the manufacturer, we had tags or labels, everything. So manufacturer is more professional. Obviously. Models. Like I said, I started with myself and people I knew. There are a lot of models out there. A lot of them charge a lot of money. A lot of people don't. Like Jake Whitehouse, he's a brilliant model. He charges £8 per photo, which is crazy good compared to a lot of people out there who charge like £500 for 6. I always get asked if I was to start another brand up, what models would I use, how would I do it differently, etc. Currently, my 2 favourite models, and the ones that are doing really well, is Kyle Beaumont, I think that's how you say his second name, and Nathan Warden, both full of tattoos, both really good in all angles, and photographer wise would be Jamie Booth. So the combination of those 3 I think would be absolute top notch. Last but not least, do not be afraid. So when I started the brand, people laughed, people were like, why are you doing that? And they'd work their factory job 9 till 5. But don't be afraid to get yourself out there, don't be afraid to market it and push the brand upon people. Like when I started, every photo, I had my own Facebook page and then Capone's page. So every photo that I had, I'd share myself as well, just to get it in people's minds, just annoy people so they know the brand, just to try and get that brand a household name. But if you are afraid, that's fine. Because obviously, if you're not going to do it yourself, someone else will do it for you. That's a lie. So basically, just to reiterate on my last point there, which says, don't be afraid, follow your dreams.